Joining us now on 710 KURV, we want to continue our Meet the Candidate series. We're going to talk with Luis Singletary. He's running for judge of District Court, 92nd Court.
Very good.
That's the one where Ricardo Rodriguez stepped down from. And we want to talk with Luis Singletary so you guys can get to know him as well.
He's
How you doing?
Running for the Democratic nomination, 92nd.
That's true.
Correct, yes.
So when you heard Ricardo Rodriguez is going to step down, did that change your decision to run, or were you already planning on running for this position?
No, that was pretty much what activated that decision. There was, for some time there, I guess, rumors floating around that Judge Rodriguez was planning on stepping down and running for the district attorney's office. And once it became clear that was going to happen, we made our decision to run for this particular.
Weren't the rumors around a couple of years ago, last campaign cycle?
What rumors of what?
That Ricardo was going to step down. I heard it 2-3 years ago that he was going to. Anyway.
Honestly, I don't know. I didn't.
So what do you want to do with this job? Describe the job. What's the job application?
The 92nd District Court is a court of general jurisdiction. Basically, it hears cases, criminal cases, felony cases, civil cases, family cases, tax cases, a little bit of everything, which is particularly what I've done as an attorney. I've got an office here in McAllen. I've been here for the last 15 years, and I'm one of those attorneys that kind of done a little bit of everything.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some family, some civil, some criminal defense work. I think, the experience that I have, the courtroom experience, which I believe is the most important experience that an attorney can have to become a judge. What I've done in the past, I think, has prepared me for the work that needs to be done there as a judge as well. And that I've also been a municipal judge with the city of FAR for the past 10 years. I started there back in April of 2004. And while the issues, obviously, in the 92nd District Court are different,
the process is sort of the same.
Well, the law is the same. The procedure is the same. The application of the law is the same.
But you can execute somebody as a district judge. They won't let you do that in FAR, right?
No. We do. We are part of the process. Any crime committed, or at least that falls within jurisdiction of the FAR Police Department, we have a step in the process. We arraign these individuals, so we actually deal with them initially when they get charged with, capital murder, rape, whatever the case may be. DWIs, everything that goes to the city of FAR.
I said this to Davis before. I said, if someone takes this job, it's pretty all encompassing, and you seem like a jolly guy. It's gonna kind of put your damper on
Give him
everything.
4 years behind the thing.
No, I am ready to do this job. I'm very passionate about what I do as an attorney. All my clients that I've represented, and I've literally represented thousands of them over the years. And if I'm helping you out with a traffic ticket or a capital murder, which I'm certified here in Hidalgo County. There's only a handful of attorneys that are actually certified to handle death penalty cases.
Really,
I'm one of them. So I've actually had a large variety of different types.
Have you done many death cases?
Not a whole bunch, but yeah, a few. Well, capital murder, at the end of the day, it's up to the state whether or not they want to pursue the death penalty. I've handled many capital murder cases, but cases where they actually sought the death penalty has just been a handful, a few.
What's your view, if you have one, of the indigent defense system that's set up in Hidalgo County? Is it adequate? Is the funding adequate enough? Is it working right? And you may not have a sense of that.
Well, as an attorney, I am also subject to getting court appointments. I get them both from the state level and from the federal courts here in McAllen. I think it's a good program. I think it's something that's necessary. A lot of people in this area cannot afford the
legal fees,
right? And
they shouldn't do the crime, right, Luis?
Correct. Yes, if you can.
No, that's not.
But I think it's a fair system. I think it works. I think for the most part, attorneys do a good job, and because it's a random system, I think it really works. These individuals who really do need the help are afforded, the services of an attorney. It was a constitutional right, obviously, but the system that we have here intact in Hidalgo County, I think, works fairly well. As far as how it's funded and it's adequately funded and all that, I couldn't go into the numbers because I don't have that information. But from an attorney standpoint, I think it works pretty well, and I think they're doing a good job, in fact.
The dockets or the lists of cases to be handled. In the past, there's been discussion. I don't remember anything recent, but in the past, it's been discussion that dockets are, quote, too slow. Judges don't hear enough cases, get them tried or settled or whatever. Do you have a sense of whether that's what it is in Hidalgo County?
Well, I can tell you one thing for sure. These courts are extremely busy. Some of them overwhelmed. In fact, the our population is constantly growing. The need for these legal services, and in fact, maybe even more courtrooms. I think is here. Um,
Whoa! More courtrooms? Okay, go ahead.
well, I mean, because of the number of cases
Yeah.
that we have going through there every single day. I think that for the most part, all the judges are doing a wonderful job with the resources that they have. I mean, they are just bombarded with so many cases that it's
Is
virtually
it mostly a
impossible.
criminal docket down here?
The vast majority of the cases are family and criminal. Criminal being the more common case in these courts. They make up the majority
Yeah.
of the cases.
Well, what I've always believed is that the local federal judges do mostly criminal, mostly immigration and drug stuff. That there's not much time left over for civil stuff. It did just occur to me maybe that's true in state court too.
I think so. The majority, and in fact, the numbers are there. The over, if you take out the tax cases, the vast majority, I couldn't give an exact number, but I'm going to guess somewhere between maybe 60-70% of the cases are either criminal or family.
Say you win the nomination, you go on to win the election.
Well,
Is there something?
there's a Republican opponent in the 92nd.
Yeah.
Jaime Tijerina.
Yes.
Is there something that you want to do different, or you want to continue what's been going on, the legacy that's been there before?
I think the recent judges that we've had there have done a good job. I'd like to keep that tradition of doing a good job for the citizens of our county. One thing that I'd like to do, and what little part I can do, to try to clean up the image that we sometimes get in this area. You hear these things happening. You get online or you open the newspaper, you watch the news, you hear of all these things that occur sometimes with some of our elected officials. I'd like to do my part, at least, to try to, clean up that image a little bit,
Nice.
treat everybody fairly, adequately, justice should be blind. Everybody should be treated equally and fairly. And I think if you do that and you treat people with respect, I think the rest will take care of itself. But certainly, if nothing else, I would like to do my part to kind of clean up that.
You had the Panama unit indictments or convictions. You've got the Progressive School District seized by the state to be run, people indicted there, rumors without end. Does that get over on the judges? Does the perception, if I think there's a perception that there's crookedness here, that there is that perception, but does that attach to judges too? I mean, you run into that on the campaign trail, I guess what I'm saying.
Not really from the general public, but people who are have an understanding of the legal system and how it really works. I mean, if you look over to what happened in our neighboring county, Cameron County, just a few months ago, it
you want to bring up that case?
It does kind of
Abel Limas?
yeah.
Yeah.
It does
that caught
spill over.
a lot of people apparently are going to. The federal judge told the state bar, "I'm sending you a transcript of all this. I want you to sanction the lawyers who need to be sanctioned." That's astounding to me.
Yes. And I practice law throughout the state of Texas, throughout the country, in fact. And sometimes when people ask me where I'm from, when I'm not from there, and I tell them, you do get the reaction, sometimes, and I know what that "oh" means.
Oh, you're one of them.
Yes, and so it's unfortunate that, and I'm sure it's not unique to our region, but it's unfortunate that some people react that way when they hear where you're from, because it's a black guy that our region has gotten over time because of the actions of certain individuals. Certainly, the overwhelming majority of the people aren't getting in these situations, but when some do, it's big news, and it does put give us our region a black eye, which again is something that I'd hope that I could do my part in, perhaps cleaning up that.
Last question for you, unless Davis has another one. There's a lot of qualified candidates that are running against you as well. And yours, rightly so, just as qualified. What separates you a little bit more than the rest?
Again, I think I've been an attorney for 15 years. I've been in front of many, many judges, not just here locally, not just throughout the state of Texas, but throughout the entire country. I think I have a good sense for what, generally makes a good judge, maybe not so good judge. A lot of it has to be just by the way you treat people. But in terms of qualifications, I think there's the most important thing that a judge can have. And this is something that I've gathered over the years that I've been practicing law is courtroom experience. If you're going to run a courtroom, you need somebody who has been in a courtroom, over their career. I've made a career out of being in a courtroom. I'm in a courtroom almost on a daily basis, sometimes even on the weekends. In fact, on some weekends I'm on call, so I have to come in at night or whenever they need me. So I think that my experience as an attorney alone makes me the best qualified candidate in this particular race, because of the courtroom experience that I have, the type of cases that I've handled, the number of cases that I've handled. I've fought for people's money. I have fought for people's family. I literally have fought for people's lives. I think that's very important. And in this race, I'm the only candidate that has judicial experience. In most races, you never get that. And in the 92nd District Court race, I'm the only candidate that has judicial experience. I have 10 years of judicial experience. And I ask, people for their support because I can look at them straight in the eye and, get relay to them that they can trust me because this is a job that I've already done. I've been doing this. And again, while, the issues are going to be a little bit different, generally it's not that much different. And, all those years of experience, courtroom experience combined, I think is what makes me the most qualified candidate in this race.
Our guest has been Luis Manuel Singletary. He's running for the Democratic nomination, 92nd District Court in Hidalgo County. You're listening to 710 KURV.